Welcome to the Heart of Giving, a program about the nonprofits. We're so pleased that we can bring you this information about the wonderful work being done by people in the city of Long Beach to make Long Beach a better city. And I'd like to also thank the Memorial Health Services in Long Beach. This company is sponsoring the Heart of Giving. They are a nonprofit. The program is nonprofit. This is something that where people work together to make sure you know about the services of the city of Long Beach. And today, we have someone who is new to Long Beach, but certainly not new to the program of the Conservation Corps of Long Beach. Nice to have you here, Dan Knapp. Very good. How long have you been here?
Thank you. I started February 1st, 2016. So what is that, 10 weeks on? I'm 10 weeks in.
Is that right?
Yes.
Well, welcome.
Thank
We're
you.
glad that you're here.
Thank you.
But you're not new to Conservation Corps.
No.
And what's your background there?
Well, prior to joining the Conservation Corps of Long Beach, I was with the Los Angeles Conservation Corps for 19 years.
Mm-hmm.
I joined the LA Corps right out of grad school at Cal State University of Long Beach. I got my master's degree in geography resource management. I thought I was going to be a water planner, a resources planner around water.
Uh-huh.
I applied for the LA Corps on a whim. I was going to be an environmental science instructor, and I didn't know much about conservation corps at the time. My wife was teaching school here in Long Beach at Stanford Middle School.
Okay.
So I have a lot of ties in Long Beach. I'm really excited about being here.
Good.
But my wife, I remember she asked me after my first or second day on the job, she goes, so what do you think? Because my background's environmental planning, resource management, all the environmental stuff. And I said, I'm not quite sure. It's kind of a social services agency. I thought it was a conservation environmental program. But I quickly understood and realized very quickly, probably within the first week, that before I can get the young folks that I was teaching and serving to get excited about the environment and the conservation, that they first have to get excited about themselves, and they first have to care about themselves.
Okay.
The light bulb went off. I didn't drink the Kool-Aid, I guzzled the Kool-Aid, and I've been hooked ever since.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I know that people know that the Conservation Corps has young people, but who are these young people? Where do you get them? How do they become involved in Conservation Corps? Then we can talk about what they do.
Very good.
But tell us first about them.
Yeah. Well, the modern Conservation Corps movement is not a whole lot different than the President Roosevelt's program during the Great Depression and the WPA, the Civilian Conservation Corps. At that time, the economy was very much in the doldrums. So many out-of-work young men. It was only restricted to young men at the time. And it was an opportunity for them to put a little bit of money in their pockets and a little bit of money home, but also give back to the nation. So the present day movement is not that dissimilar. Young folks come to us because it's an opportunity to work, put a little bit of money in your pocket, get some job training. We're a rung in the ladder of the young folks who we serve's lives. And also, if they don't have their high school diploma, they can go to school with us too. We have a state accredited charter school.
How do they find you? How do they even know about you?
Well, CCLB's been around now for, I'm going to say 27 years, but it's primarily word of mouth. And that's how it primarily is. I know at one time we had recruitment efforts, but we don't really do that much in regards to recruitment. And we actually have a waiting list of young folks trying to come through our doors.
That's what I was going to ask you. So you have, you can take a certain number, and you have more than that want to be than you can take.
Absolutely. The limiting factor for us to bring young folks into the Corps, the Conservation Corps it's interesting. We're a nonprofit, 501c3. The engine the revenue or the engine that drives the Corps is fee-for-service work. We provide services for the city of Long Beach. We provide services for the state of California, recycling and litter abatement and restoration projects. And that is the limiting factor. So part of my job is to develop new projects, put young people to work. The more people we can put to work, the more people we can move through our doors and invite them into the organization. They can work on their high school diploma at the same time. So that is the primary limiting factor. But we do have young folks. I'm not sure how big our waiting list is right now, but it's never, we don't Unfortunately, or we don't lack for young folks trying to get into the program.
And how many participate in your program? How many can you take?
Right
every
now,
year?
we have approximately 100 young folks in our program.
Okay.
So.
And if they don't have their high school diploma, do you ask them to make sure they do? Or do you, if they don't want to, you don't bother?
They don't get a choice.
Oh, I see.
And the interesting thing, though, Beverly, the
Well,
interesting
I'm
thing is
glad.
most young people come to us because they want to get their high school diploma. For a lot of young folks that we serve, it's a choice of either or. Oftentimes, more times than not, they've been, brought into the world in a very challenging situation. And so a lot of our young folks, they need to work. They need to be a provider for the family. They need to contribute to the family income. And so the Corps is an opportunity for them to, if they didn't get their high school diploma, if they dropped out of school for whatever reasons, for to work, they can work and go to school at the same time. And we're very proud of that. I think it's a very successful model in that regard. Our young folks, well, let me take a step back. Conservation Corps Long Beach is one of 13 certified corps in the state of California. What I mean certified is that we are certified by the State Resources Agency. We're written in the California Resources Code, Labor Code, Transportation Code. All these, it's great legislation, but we're also scrutinized and vetted every year to make sure that what we're doing it correctly. And part of that vetting process is that we must have an accredited high school of our own or an affiliation with the accredited high school. So the young folks that do come to us without a high school diploma are going to school. So if you come to us, Beverly, you don't have your high school diploma, you don't get a choice. You're going to school.
I see. And is it school that's connected with the Unified School District, or do you have your own facility for that?
We have our own charter. We're we're WASC accredited, Western Association of Schools and Colleges accredited. Our charter is actually with Glenn County Office of Education. That's up by Sacramento.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you have a staff then, not only to make sure that everybody's doing what they should and getting paid a little bit, whatever that is, and also teaching.
Yes. So the Conservation Corps Long Beach, we're kind of a three-leg stool. We're first and foremost a youth development organization. We use the different types of conservation projects as a means for that, partial means for that youth development. So the one leg of the stool is the work, the conservation work, the recycling, the resource, management, the conservation, work around the LA River, the lower San Gabriel River. We're working on Catalina Island, things like that. That puts a little bit of money in the young folks' pockets, and that's what instills this work ethic in the young folks we serve. And then we have the academic program. So that's the second leg of the stool. If they don't have their high school diploma, they got to go to school with us. The third leg is our supportive services. That's the one that's always the most challenging to fund. Case management for our young folks. Working with our young folks getting their driver's license, health care, child care, substance abuse, all those other things.
Counseling.
Yes, exactly. Those ancillary, distractions that may hinder them from going on to something bigger and better.
And you can kind of decide what they need, and then they need to go. It isn't voluntary, like, well, I don't want to go to that,
If you come through our door, we do an assessment right out the gate. Okay, you need your high school diploma. You have so many credits. You're going to go to school. Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Or Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You're going to work Tuesday and Thursday to earn some income. If you need housing, you need whatever you need. We kind of assess that up at the very beginning of your enrollment into the program, and then it's a pathway. Then we actually draw out a pathway for you to move through the program and matriculate on to something successful after, whether it's post-secondary education, living wage job, whatever it may be.
How long did they stay with you?
Our average length of stay is a year. They could stay with us as up to 2 years. It really, the biggest determining factor on length of tenure with us is how long will it take you to get your high school diploma. Because we don't want to rush it, We run our school year round. But again, you might come to us with no credits. We have some young folks that come to us who are, functionally illiterate, and it's kind of starting out the gate, and we're not going to rush it. We want to do it right. So if it's going to take you 3 years, year round, to go to get your high school diploma, you're with us for 3 years. Yeah.
So it has that strong of an educational force.
you know, the Corps has evolved, and I think we're always trying to really address the needs of our participants at any given
That's
time,
great.
or get ahead
That's
of those
great.
needs. So education is key. It really is.
And-
And it doesn't have to be academic. I mean, obviously you want your high school diploma, but vocational education. We love to partner with the trades. You know, if you want to be an electrician or you want to be a plumber, you know, whatever it may be.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, it's really heartwarming to know that you have the enthusiasm for what you're doing, and you can tell by the background that you had, and that you've seen wonderful cases of people that has changed their lives. Do you have a story you want to tell about somebody?
Well, you know, it's changed my life. You know, I have two daughters who are young women now. They grew up in the Corps, and I got to be superhero dad because I got to bring native plants to the class, and take the Girl Scout troop on a tour and help them plant trees, and bring in our Corps members in to teach them how to plant trees or to develop a garden at their school. So one of the things I'm most proud of is that my daughters have been always so proud of their dad and who
That's
he
great.
is, and I'm so proud of that. So to answer your question, I have many stories. I've had young folks come back to me after years and tell me how much we've helped, and how much I've helped. But the reality is that they're really helping me. Again, I had no design to go into this
But there you are.
movement.